All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the weekly reckoning here on Census Fidelium. We are happy to be joining joining us, if that's the right way to say it, as
Somebody's
we talk
joining
about
somebody.
something. Somebody's going to be joining something somewhere, sometime. I am Rick Barrett, and I am happy to be a guest on Steve's channel every week, and we are going to be talking about some kind of crazy, interesting stuff that we try to pick out. And hopefully, if you want, jump in the comment section and you can join along with us as we go through all these things. You know, I started seeing this on the X machine today, Steve. This idea about some new Trump lockdown, some new COVID 2.0 stuff, which Trump would love, because then you're gonna pump out more pump out more stimulus checks and all kinds of things of that nature. But it's interesting because after COVID, there's always been some kind of, there was the monkeypox, and then there was this other thing, and then there was this other. They're always trying to drum up some kind of some kind of next COVID, because there's part of the population that wants to go back to something like that. But what are your thoughts on the COVID 2.0 stuff, the lockdowns 2.0 that seem to be kind of just coming out of nowhere once again?
Yeah, a guy wrote me on did Clown Planet yesterday, and someone wrote me saying, I didn't see that until you brought it up. And I mean, who's going to watch? I don't think anybody out there is looking at, hey, I'm following Times of India, or hey, what is Vietnam doing? Good Lord, I hope you're not. Unless somebody here is living in Vietnam, I hope no one's thinking, man, I wonder what's going on in Vietnam this morning. Australia or New Zealand or things like that. All right, so you remember the whole thing about stay at home. And if you don't have to go out, stay at home, stay alive, all that stuff.
I don't mean to interrupt. We're on the 6-year anniversary of COVID Part 1. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. Everyone, have a. I wish I should have brought a party favor. Happy 6th anniversary of the time when everyone turned into zombies. Yes. I'm proud to admit that I didn't participate in any of that junk. We went out every day, walked. I remember people running off the sidewalk where they were jogging. I was in McAdamville, North Carolina at the time, Christmas town.
Yeah.
We were walking in, people would run into the woods to avoid us. Like, what is wrong with you? I mean, I remember the only fight I almost got into was going to Costco in Greenville, South Carolina. Was going to get booze because, Costco sells booze, but they don't sell it here because of the ABC laws in North Carolina. So you could do it in South Carolina. And they have it is like an outdoor garage in Greenville. And seriously, the guy calls me, the head guy calls me in and tells the principals to come out to get me. He's 6'5". It's like that Rocky thing. Eh? He's 6'3". I'm 5'2". Actually, I'm not that. There's 6'5".
You're not around. Guy. You're not smaller than me. I've met you. You tower above me. So let's be easy on that, Steve.
But he wanted to go toe and toe on this. Going, this is nuts, man. I mean, we're outside. Anyways, so all that stuff. The same. Now, don't forget who was the country that was the test center for all this. Israel. I have audio but no visual. Should be working. Should be streaming. Anyway, Iran.
If you have audio, no visual, leave and come back. It'll, dump out of the stream and come back. It should reset.
Iran is for CBDCs, just like, when people say that Russia's not for it. They got kicked out of the World Health Organization, or the Davos World Economic Forum. They might have got kicked out, but they're still for CBDC. They got their own digital ID. They're still doing that whole 9 yards. So technically, it's a great reset that you're watching in a continuation of it in COVID 2.0. And so Iran was for CBDCs, still for digital ID, still for the technical. There's guys that are saying Jew empire in politics. Jew empire. But yeah, that's his handle. Mentioned that he's gotten people send him stuff saying that the Iranian technate is being built, and they're asking technocrats to come into Iran. So you got the North American technique going on with taking over Canada, Greenland. That's why they're going after Greenland. Venezuela, same thing. Colombia, Ecuador. That's all part of North American technique. You can look it up. So they're talking the Iranian technique is starting to get built with the same thing. So Off Guardian had a post, and I put it out. Did I use it on Monday's show? Talking about how the psyops that Iran's been a part of, going back all the way to Oliver North and things like that. You see them, they're selling to everybody. Yeah, Oliver North was getting up there. That was and by the way, he's against Iran getting the weapon apparently. While he was the one that got convicted for giving them weapons. So it's, talking out of both sides of their mouths in a sense. So, and then I don't want to go all nutty on here, but we see what the news is showing in video from Twitter. Rick ain't in Iran, G Money, you ain't in Iran, Karen's not in Iran. You just go down the list. None of us are in Iran. So where you have to, we don't know what's true, what's accurate, what's going on, or they could, I'm sure there's people dying out there. I'm sure there's something going on, but who behind the scenes pulling the strings? Something's fishy. There's something stinks and ain't the fish because of everything that's going on in here. And then the coincidences and things like this again but then you go back to the oil and they said, don't do this. Well, let me go ahead and pull up a couple of the headlines from the last few days.
Yeah.
Labor law. This is New Zealand Britain. Labor approves new driving laws for thousands as tougher restrictions set to launch. Air New Zealand to cut flights as fuel price surge wreaks havoc. So they're blaming that. You see that over here they're blaming the TSA for not the government shutdown. TSA, so it's making havoc on you guys for if you want to fly, videos of people going out into the garage, the car garages, which insane. Just let them go through. Really? The UK government launches digital ID consultation. Hey, what's going on with that SAVE Act in the States? The SAVE Act has digital ID going on. What was it? Florida just the other day is talking about, Florida getting the all about the kids thing. And what they say about the kids, by the way, eventually this is going to be what the parents have to have an online ID to then vouch that you're of age. Digital ID, as good as Florida has been doing on a lot of things, they're nuts on this new CIA thing that they're trying to put down on there against anti-Semitism and this digital ID thing that they're putting through. Sounds good. I'd still want to go there for in a sense. It's like it's the best of the worst places in a sense. That makes any.
Yeah, if they get rid of property taxes, I'll deal with the rest. I'll deal with the rest of it for that.
Yeah.
Also, when you're talking real quick about the ID stuff, they already started that when they were states were doing it for adult websites. Remember, they were passing laws that said you have to show ID in order to access adult websites, and the adult websites either complied or they left. So they already introduced it under the guise of keeping kids safe, right? We don't want kids accessing these sites, so you got to upload ID and things like that. But that was one way to get the camel's nose under the tent with that, making that kind of process digestible to most Americans in that regard.
Yeah. Right. I'll find that Florida one that she just asked for. Just gave me un momento por favor. But what was I going with this?
No, I cannot bench 315 Robster 12. So
I go do some boxing.
I used to weigh 315, but I couldn't bench 315. So it is what it is. I'm glad you have the stream. That's fantastic, Karen. So good.
So and here's Martin Lewis warns UK energy bills could rise 30%. Do you remember that when energy bills was going up and it was during the winter and people were saying, oh, you got to have these little places where you have to like a public heater area. You remember that?
Yeah. We also covered that story. We talked about it when it was in Colorado when the digital thermostats were being frozen by offsite. Remember that when there would be, like I can't put my thermostat down and it was like Dave, or it was like it was the red dot from 2001. It was just like, yeah, you can't do that. You can't go below 75, Dave. And it's one of these things that have been happening, slowly and in isolated areas.
Right. No, exactly.
And then and you're talking about utilities going up, that gas is firing up, through the roof. For me, I got a diesel truck. Diesel was $3.19, 2 weeks ago. Now it's almost $5 a gallon. It's almost $5 a gallon over here, and that's going to make things a lot more difficult. But Trump's going to make sure that he frees Iran for another nation's foreign policy. So it is what it is in that regard. We're all going to have to suffer in that in the short term, no matter what Trump says in that regard.
Yeah, diesel's nuts. I guess it went up a whole $1 here. I think it was.
Yeah, diesel went up. Diesel was the one that went up the most around here.
Man, I can't find where I put
that. It is not fun. It used to be okay. It was like $3 for diesel. That's fine. Now it's like $5 to pay for diesel. No, thank you. Yeah, world peace, right? World peace. I don't know what piece of the world you're talking about there, G Money, but it's not world peace. It's a piece of the world that people are fighting for. And you ain't getting it. You ain't getting any of it. So it's gonna be the growing rumble is that troops are gonna have to go in.
They're going in. That's 100%.
And it makes me so angry, Steve, because at what point are we ever? And the answer is never. So I'm going to answer my own question. But people who voted for Trump, this idea of America first, having to be duped into, and Steve and I called this. There was a reason why Trump would be let back into office. They were going to let him back in office because he was, if Kamala started a war with Iran, I can't believe this is ridiculous. This is unbelievable. Trump starts it, and the MAGA crowd is like, yep, all right, okay, do it for greater Israel. And it's funny, Steve, to see the MAGA party be trimmed and absorbed into the Republican Party, much like the Tea Party. Remember the Tea Party? Everybody thought the Tea Party was going to be this revolutionary party. And then eventually, just like everything else, the GOP absorbed it like the blob that it is. And now the Tea Party
is Tea Party rallies.
Yeah. And now MAGA is set up to be the exact same thing. MAGA is just going to get absorbed into the GOP, and it's not going to be anything else when Trump, by the time Trump leaves office, it will be nothing more. I mean, right now, essentially, it's nothing more than a bumper sticker, but it will officially be dead and buried with the, when Trump, leaves and is gone.
Wait till Gruesome Newsom gets a hold of it, or AOC, and they get the imperial presidency that Trump has created right here. It's been that way. It's been an imperial one, but now he's taking the gloves off. I mean, basically, he's giving the middle finger to everyone, going, you know what? Screw you. I'm doing what I want to do. It's the Eric Cartman idea. I do what I want. Yep. I would have played that before, but Eric's in a G string, so you really can't do that.
You couldn't find any other one besides that?
No, that was the only one they had. I do what I want, and because it's that episode.
Okay.
Whatever. I do what I want. And anyway, for the Florida thing, just because Laura was asking, Florida is now bearing down digital ID system, and the countdown's already began. In just 30 days, tech companies could be forced to verify the identities of millions of users, a move critics warn could erase online anonymity across the state. For months, Governor Ron DeSantis publicly blasted digital ID, warning it would allow governments to control citizens and track their lives. He said the system would hit a brick wall in Florida. Now Florida's own law may be opening that door. The Online Protection for Minors Act, shocker, bans children under 14 from holding social media accounts and requires parental approval for teens 14 and 15. Here's the catch. To prove you're not a minor, many platforms will require government ID checks or biometric scans through third-party verification companies. Some of them are operating overseas, kind of like the Meta glasses. Heard about those? I mean, they're just insane what's going on with the Meta stuff. And in other words, millions of adults will be forced to identify themselves just to use the internet.
Yep.
Florida's got 30 days before the enforcement begins. Great googly moogly.
I mean, that's what you and I have talked about, how the era of the shows like these and the influencer culture and all these other kinds of things is essentially going to be torpedoed within the next 24 to 36 months.
Oh
Because
yes,
once
yes.
this stuff really hits nationwide, it will go back to the big companies, the ones like Paramount that just absorbed Warner Brother and all these others, and Google. They'll once again rein in, and they will use AI slop because it'll be cheaper than doing anything else, and they'll just pump out that content.
I don't know if we
Um,
call it slop because some of that AI is really cool, really
when,
good,
when I
entertaining
when I
wise.
Yes, no, you and I have talked about that. There is some good AI and that it's actually developed really well. When I say slop, I just mean mass produced stuff.
Mm.
Just the same way that Disney movies are slop, right? It's just mass produced, lowest common denominator type stuff. There'll be some good stuff, but a lot of it will be lowest common denominator type things that are produced out there. So I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, there'll be some good stuff, but most of it, like our content that we have now, is just the bottom of the barrel when we talk about
Yeah.
that.
Just
So
to go on with the point on the thing is here's the energy bill thing. Yeah, we're talking about that. Here's Spain, please, or Denmark, please. Denmark's energy head begs citizens not to use fuel amid price spikes during the Iran conflict. If it's
mhm.
strictly necessary to drive your car, then don't do it. Do you remember back in during those days, Mexico City, every other day you were allowed to drive or fill up with gas, or no, it was drive. I think it was every other day. Some places you weren't allowed to drive.
Nope. Nope.
Checkpoints, things like that.
What does that set up, Steve? Oh, that sets up the idea of the 15-minute city.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
sets up
And
the idea. Well, now that energy prices
yeah.
are high, we have to keep things, and the 15-minute cities are already being created. Just take a look, folks. It's not just far off. It's here in the U.S. too. There's U.S. cities that have volunteered to be
Oh
trial
yeah,
runs.
there's plenty of test run
So,
cities going on right now.
so
Whitney Webb's talking about the X money that launches next month. That because of it, they're the group called Oxtentix ID is an Israeli-based company. And guess what? If you say anything critical about most favored nation, they already got your information. You're not going to, if you're getting paid this way, you ain't getting paid this way. Don't worry.
this show's not going to make any money from that.
I'll just say anybody. I mean, on X, that's just X right now. But
Mhm.
wait till it gets on PayPal or Stripe or anything else, and you got the digital ID and CBDC, and then you get flagged for speaking against Israel. Ooh, you're not getting bread. Better learn how to grow your own food.
Yeah,
Which goes
absolutely.
back to a couple of things when they said about the farmers. You see the farmers saying the fertilizer is going out the wazoo. They don't have anything. Guys are thinking about quitting. Plus, that would increase not only with gas and oil, increase money, but the fertilizer will increase the money. So you better learn how to grow some food. Because I mean, if these guys can't fertilize, which there's plenty of natural fertilizers out there, but you can't do that on that scale that these guys use. But if you're in just, Rick's backyard putting some stuff down, there's stuff you could plant that actually will produce fruit and make everything in the ground much better. But you
Mm.
can't do that in a large commercial scale like that.
Plus, they lose access to their subsidies if they use alternatives to the fertilizer that is
Right.
required to get that,
Right.
because most American farming is subsidized. That's why
Right.
Iowa is a major stop in the presidential cycle, is because the Iowa groups are subsidized, and the presidential candidate has to go out there and say, "Oh, of course we're going to continue to subsidize corn because corn is everything, and we have to have corn and ethanol and blah 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 blah." So they all have to go out and bend the knee to that group, which is why Iowa was one of the first. And yeah, most of it is. I know, Brian. If only we knew people who could actually farm, like regenerative farm, and actually do stuff like that. That would be quite amazing. But yeah, nope, out of luck. no, no
But
regenerative farming.
you're in Texas. How dry is Texas, or where you're at?
Oh, we got some storms over when last night and a couple days, but before that we were about the same as Iran. We were pretty dry. The fire risk was pretty high. Brian would know better than I would. But the fire risk was very high over the last couple weeks, as far as just complete and utter, I mean, if you think about it, we're in a stage 4 drought, says Brian. You didn't catch this because it's not national, but there's a city outside of Corpus Christi, and Brian might know this as well because he's in Texas. They've got about 40 days of water left before they run out. The water tables here are not doing very well. So
I got you something.
That's before the data centers come in, Steve.
I got you something. You ever heard of jujubes?
Jujubes?
Jujube fruits?
No.
I've
heard of beans, the candy.
They are glorious in dry climates. They have more. They have, say, oranges have 46 milligrams of vitamin C. Kiwi has maybe 96, and they're supposed to be top dog. Mm-hmm. This thing has 600. Helps you with sleep, helps with the brain capacity, helps your mind, helps with your liver, helps in a ton of things. It actually recommends that you have it in a dry climate, and you can neglect it. Like, do not water it, and it will produce tons of fruit. I had one yesterday. I ordered some. I wanted to taste one before I think about trying to buy it. Imagine tasting a little berry of honey and a little other sweetness. It is good. If you're a diabetic or worry about it, it helps with that. Now, if you do too much of it, it could upset your stomach because it's so sweet. But it's, oh man, find you one, grab you one, put it in the ground. I guarantee this.
You gotta send me a message about that after the show. Or
if you're in a climate that's dry, hot, and not humid, this thing will be glorious. There's a tree in Japan, apparently. I think it's Japan or China, 1,000 years old, huge, and it's still just. I mean, you're talking hundreds of years of free food right there, and solid. Just like I said, very nutritious. Anyways. Here's Spain's prime minister announces a tool to measure hate speech on digital platforms. Here's nobody's prepared for what's coming. You're about the cyber pandemics. The COVID-19 pandemic teaches about cybersecurity. Back in 2020, we talked about cyber polygon. Mm-hmm. So that was a thing. If you don't know what that is, look that up. I remember talking about that for years. This went down last week. Trump's cyber strategy for America. Financial Times. There is no return to normal on any oil anytime soon. Where did you hear that? Remember that? I remember Schwab saying something like that. There's going to be no return to normal. That's crazy. There is no normal. This is the new normal.
Yep.
We're hearing the new normal, those catchphrases. Maybe I'm crazy on it. Maybe I've seen it going. That's different. Vietnam urges people to work from home to save fuel in Iran war.
Yep.
And here's geopolitics empire. Here, Iran is the new COVID. The next phase of the Great Reset is here. Training the pleas for communist-style rationing. And as Rick said a minute ago, 15-minute city. Electric concentration camp, home lockdowns again. The Thai government will require most government agencies to adopt full work-from-home arrangements as part of the emergency measures to curb energy demand.
Yeah.
I mean history ain't repeating, but it sure does rhyme.
Yeah. It absolutely is rhyming, and it's really it's actually quite masterful because they set up the initial mindset in COVID, right, of how these things, this language that was used, and so now it's just commonplace when they drop, oh yeah, it's new normal on oil, and nobody bats an eye. Instead of saying, what do you mean? What do you mean? I thought that's why we took out the Venezuelan guy so we could have oil over there. Now what about all this other stuff? No, we're going to actually go back to this, even though this promise of low standard, the standard of living will be better for Americans, and things will cost better, and gas is going to be cheaper. Gas was cheaper for a little bit, but now it is gone. It is no more. I hope you enjoy where you are.
There's that Jujube tree right there.
Okay, Jujube tree. Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you a link for it, but
yep.
No, but yeah, with all this going down, say they lock you back in the house. All right, all right, we had some practice. What's your plan? Or gas is so high, like you said, if Iran's threatening $200 barrels, and we don't even get a high percentage of that. We're not even the top 10 that comes out of the strait, and it affects us that much. Something else is going on. Even if they're opening up the reserves and all that, still up that way. And, they say they got the Venezuela. Okay, why is it that there's something else going? Who was behind the best last time this junk happened? The same guys today. Like I said, here's part 2. The sequel always sucks compared to the original.
It's got to be bigger too. The sequel's got to be bigger in that regard.
More deaths, more bombs. Well, yeah, instead of the sneezes, people exploding gookos out of their nose, now you got exploding bombs. So maybe that's the difference on it. But the only thing different, there's no toilet paper shortage. So you're good on the TP.
Yet.
But right now.
Right now. So now's the time to stock up, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I'm just thinking about this randomly isn't that there's the reason, and folks, this is just me stringing stuff together. Your Amazons and your major companies, they all transitioned away from gas cars. If you've ever seen an Amazon delivery truck lately, they're all electric, which they're all electric in that regard, electric boogaloo. So they can continue to operate, and you can continue to get your stuff delivered to your front door as they condition you to stay at home. So it's just something else interesting to think about in that regard. But it's definitely something to be worried about as far as this administration is completely off the rails. It is full bore. I don't even think they care if they lose the midterms or whatever, because it's both sides. The Uniparty will continue to allow the bombing and the destruction of Iran because of who it favors and who it benefits in that regard. And it does not benefit you. It does not benefit you in any way, shape, or form.
They could care less about that because they'd use that as team party politics for something else.
My joke, Brian, is I'm glad I voted for the Peace Party president. I remember I was told Trump was on last week or earlier this week or last week, and he said, yeah, we're not doing mass deportation anymore. We're done with it. So yeah.
And really, I mean, we kind of mentioned, we talked about that before, saying, hey, that shouldn't be shocking. I mean, he's already talked about before, it got everyone ticked off that he wasn't going to deport everyone. And he's got his own people. And he was already saying that, no, we're not deporting everybody because there's some good people here. And I, pretty much he, owns some people. He pays people to work there. So that's kind of, in a sense, it's like, hey, you guys know he's been saying this for a while. And now, Bondi comes out saying that they're not going to do Epstein anymore. That's over and done with.
Well, they've been trying to get rid of that for years. Ever since Bunny Bondi stumbled over her own face to talk about it, they've been trying to get out of that. So
remember the whole thing in Charlotte. I mean, Mark brought up a couple hundred times about how many people were in Charlotte that are illegal. 6 figures. They were here for a week, arrested 300 people, mostly veterans, mostly citizens, and left. Every time you turn around, they were arresting someone that actually is a citizen. And like, and the sheriff who got reelected even was going, I got 1,000 warrants they were supposed to help me with. I mean, it was a ruse. It's kind of like Doge. Is to get, they didn't do anything. It was like, hey, yeah, we saved you $2 billion, and then turn around and gave $1 trillion to the DOD, and nobody seemed to care. But just to put a little bow, I guess, on it. Everyone remember this one? I know I played it many times. You remember this, right? Absolute Zero, the document from long ages ago from the UK. Here, remember all these graphs? Maybe some of you guys do. Here's road vehicles. Department of Petrol and Diesel Engines ends between 2020 and 2029. What year is it?
Remember, London announced like 2 years ago they wanted to go petrol free. The city itself.
They're getting darn close. We got 3 years to finish this gig right here. This map. And this is just England right here. So all airports except Heathrow, Glasgow, and Belfast closed and transferred to rail. I don't know. I haven't kept up with the airports out there or their rail increase, but I mean,
I think Heathrow's a private airport. I believe it's owned by the Saudis, or it's owned by a conglomerate out of the Middle East. So that one won't because of central commerce and travel and so forth. But the other ones, not shocked if they shut down. I mean, look at the trouble we're having now.
Here's the food about the consumption of beef and lamb drops by 50%. Now, the main thing is, the rapid reduction in fossil fuel, obviously, and you see these with the road vehicles, maybe some flying stuff. They haven't closed anything down yet, but I don't think they'll go 100% with all this, but dude, this is
as close as they can. They'll walk as close to the line as they possibly can.
Yeah, don't poo-poo that document. That came out right after 2020, 2021. A lot of people don't, I played it a lot on my shows and throughout the years, but I mean, it's 2026 and you're seeing people doing the same thing. We got to get rid of the oil. We got to get off the gas. Maybe you aren't supposed to have cars. Maybe we go with the AI electric cars. Maybe we got to they're phasing this stuff out very slowly and surely. But it talk on it, man. They're looking like they're trying to. Was that movie? It looks like it was Ghostbusters. It looks like that might actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to bring in the demon from another realm. This guy might actually pull it off.
I mean, that is a big Twinkie. So
it's a big Twinkie.
It's a big Twinkie. But yeah, it's not that it's in isolated sections. It seems when you look at it broadly, it seems crazy. But when you look at it in the isolated pockets that it's running through right now, it's actually going pretty well for them in that regard. As far as a lot, I mean, remember the plan that Ireland wanted to slaughter all their cows?
Yeah,
because there's too much CO2 from the cows. We got to kill them all. And people are like, what are you talking about? You guys are dropping bombs. Like Western leaders are dropping bombs all over Iran. That's more CO2 than the cows will ever put out. But they're like,
that great meme that comes out. Our elite. We got to make sure the emissions don't come out. Also, our elite. Boom.
I got to eat Impossible burgers because of CO2. Meanwhile, they're carpet bombing Iran right now.
They're bombing water plants and oil and making oil fall out of the sky. Whoa!
Just the carbon emissions from one B-2 bomber run is more than any of the cows ever for the rest of their life. So. But yeah, we got to give up cows and all these other kinds of things.
And just maybe on the fear porn too, on the guys. Oh, we got the sleeper cells. Don't buy in any of that junk. They've shown that document that came out was from 2025 and old, and the FBI kind of is into false flags. When the FBI says there's going to be somebody else going to do something, maybe it will be something, but it'll be from them. Especially if the narrative says,
I'm going to push back a little bit on that with the amount of people that were let in under Joey and the amount of people that were let in.
I think that's fair.
I can't.
Why would they do? Where are they going to do it then? Why haven't they done it then?
I don't know. But I can't.
It's kind of like this.
I will give you half. I'll give you a 50-50 on the false flag one, but I can't go 100%. I actually would think that there would be some type of retaliation. And so forth. Yeah, I mean, think about it. In April, we're coming up on the Boston Marathon bombing.
Not to say the Iranian government's led by angels or anything, or that they tell the truth 500% of the time, but they've actually come out and said, we don't care about the mainland. We're defending here. We're focused here. We're not doing anything here. We're doing this and destroying all the military bases here. Our focus is here, which makes sense.
The counterpoint to that is it's not the Iranians that would be doing it. It's tribals that are loyal to
somebody else.
Somebody that's, doing it out of the
kindness of their hearts,
Islam and stuff, or whatever the case may be. Somebody adjacent.
But then I go with, all right, if you're going to do it, go to DC. California?
Of course, Steve's like, if you're going to do it, go to DC and do it.
Well, I mean, if you and I were sitting around saying, all right, we got somebody over there. What should we do? Why don't we get that group down in Georgia? What's that going to do? Or somebody, let's go get California. Like Jimmy Kimmel said, Trump will bomb us before you do. Who cares? Plus the narrative, and then you got the narrative with the drone thing going. All right, well, the narrative is they have no Air Force or Navy. How are they getting all these drones over here? Are they using a Chinese spy balloon or something to bring this over? Something ain't adding up.
Yeah. Remember, China makes most of the commercial drones in the world. So if they're going to get them from anybody, they would be getting them from China. And if China's still getting access to their oil through the Strait,
100% of it.
Yeah, while they're the boat that comes in could easily drop a couple hundred crates. They got. I'm just giving you some basic.
I know you get some pushback. I'm good. That's fine. That's good.
A little bit on that. They could drop a couple hundred crates and then pick up some barrels on the way out. I wouldn't completely. I don't want to give the U.S. government 100% of the credit if there's an attack. I would at least say if there's a 50-50 shot of it maybe being a false flag. I would absolutely not take that out of the equation. But I would also give terror adjacent groups that are here a chance, to use the Iranian conflict to murder or hurt or innocent civilians. I mean, and my last point, the reason you can't is because you can't take out the false flag 100%. Is remember Pennsylvania, the assassination attempt in Pennsylvania was teed up to be blaming the Iranians. They already had they already had the press releases and everything ready to be like, oh, the Iranians did it, and then Trump
got released early.
Yeah, they dropped it. They put the wrong date on it. They put the date too early, and so they released it out. So
yeah, so just when cross-eyed FBI directors come out and say that, we got these guys are going to do this, I'm like, go back to drinking beer with the hockey team. I don't trust you guys one bit.
Yeah, that guy, and him and his Dan Bongino over there now back on Rumble, screaming and yelling, and everybody's just kind of lighting that guy up. So it's just pathetic. It's pathetic all the way around. The way that this has tried to be marketed to people, that it was some kind of renaissance, some kind of golden age, if you will. So yeah, that's there's the you can get
I don't know about bromance.
You can get Steve started on that. JD
being owned by him is a bromance. I mean, it's just pretty much you're his puppet.
It's one-sided. It's a one-sided bromance.
Yeah,
it's a very abusive relationship between.
But I understand where you're going with it. I mean, it's more like a ownership type deal.
Yep. Yeah. No.
You don't remember Epstein anymore. Isn't this Operation Epstein Fury? Come on, I got to keep the Epstein name in it.
You're being charitable. Yeah, I think we all are at that point.
I see. All right, you're doing good for London. That's what you're saying.
Yes, it's commendable. It's commendable. Very commendable on that. That's a good thing. So
that's how you really feel next time, though. It's much better.
Right. That's right. Other things that have been happening around. Apparently, feminism is now targeting the Catholic Church in Mexico. We have a bunch of video coming out of Mexico where feminists were, trying to light doors on fire and all these other kinds of things. And you had human chains being set up around these churches to protect from there. And good on the people in Mexico, protecting their churches and doing the things that need to be done in the face of feminism. But it's also just a fact that, the modern world will do whatever it can to try and destroy it. And then there's the famous one of the there's that one as well. Unfortunately, there's only so much people can do. And then there's the famous one of the one lady with a broom who defended a church from 12 feminists, and it was actually kind of funny because it was just this grandma with a broom and a chocolate defending her church from a bunch of purple-haired crazy ladies. And that ideology is rampant in Mexico, and it's rampant here in these United States. And the question is, when, if we'll ever see any of that stuff kind of transition this way.
I haven't seen the broom one.
Oh, the broom one's fantastic because it's this one. Yeah, there you go. These feminists are genius. They're going to try and burn down a bronze door. So that just tells you they need to go back into the kitchen because they don't understand stuff. But there's this one where there's that one, but there's the famous one with a woman. She's an old elderly woman, and she's on these stairs, and there's probably 10 to 20 feminists. And she's just standing there with a broom, and she's yelling at him, and she successfully told them to bugger off, and they did. So that was the highlight for a lot of us because it was just Granny taking out the feminists. And it's
I remember these guys back years ago. I still got a photo of that when they're spray painting them and spraying them with things, all kinds of stuff. They're walking on topless and all that. They've been doing this for years.
Yeah, no, you're right. In Mexico, it's been a pretty consistent thing because the modernity Yeah, since the Cristeros has been rampant through Mexico, and they're always targeting the church. They're always targeting the church. They're always coming after the church to try and take it down. And it's, it's good to see that there's still a lot of brave. And it's pretty brave to stand out there and take the slings and arrows from a bunch of angry women yelling at you and spray painting you and doing what you need to do to protect Holy Mother Church. So these men and women need to be praised for their efforts to protect the church, because Americans couldn't even be bothered, Steve. Oh, the feminists are gonna spray paint the church. They'll be like, whatever.
The
What
feminists
do you
are
want
here.
me to?
The feminists are here.
Yeah, what do you want? Yeah, it's Sunday. The Broncos game's on. I'm not going to do anything about that. So you have to give those people down there in Mexico a lot of credit for what
yearly too. So they've been doing a year. They're
they're
not just going out and saying, "Hey, we're doing a rosary rally down the street." They're going down, going, "We got to protect the house from being beat up, and we're going to get beat up while we're doing it."
Yep. Yeah.
It's not like the TPUSA, not TPUSA. Was it the Family Tradition Family Property TFP guys? They go out. Yeah. And they get yelled at by somebody or get flipped off, and they record it saying how bad it was. Like, you guys go down there.
Well, let's give Tradition Family Property at least credit for standing in the breach at some of these like satanic rituals and stuff like that. Sometimes they're the only ones there, Steve. So
I get it, but the bully horn, you kind of poke. Let's go kick the hornet's nest a little bit. You're asking for a fight. Those guys down there, they're not asking for a fight. They're knowing they're going to get a fight, and they're not swinging back, or they're not yelling back. They're just taking it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think either way is completely off limits. I don't think, if you want to engage the enemy in some way, that's fine. But you can also practice what the Mexican people are doing down there. I think both ways have some merit in some way, shape, or form. I'm just happy to see participation in any of them. Yeah, really, I'm really just happy to see participation. I'm not going to question how they do it, because they're at least out there, in the fight, so to say.
Oh yeah, well, there's like I remember I was Ubering a priest to the airport in Denver, and Father Greg, I can't remember his last name. He was in Highlands Ranch, but he would always go to the San Francisco March for Life and not the DC one. This is, like I said, this 2015, 2016, 2017. I think he still does it. And I remember asking why that, right? He goes, that's where the fight's at. He goes, you want to go and have the who's who of who hates you, spitting at you, throwing things at you, and not as a field little field trip that go to DC and everyone's smiling, things like that. No, you really want to go to a real one where the hate's at? Go to San Francisco. Go to that one. And I go, really? I had no idea. And it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me being like that. It's just because you can talk. It's easy to talk smack back. And because it'd be easy for me to do that too. It's hard to do like I ain't saying it, kind of like the Knight's Tale. I was thinking of when she asked him to lose.
Yep.
He just gets blood, just beat up, but just boom, 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 and not saying a word back, not even telling anybody. Just like, what are you doing? I'm losing.
Yeah. Of course, the funny part is when she tells him to win. He's like, there's your Juliet. And he's like, how I hate her so. So there is that. But no, there is a lot to be said about dealing with discomfort with dignity and being dignified in your disrespect. So I understand. I do get that point. A lot. So it makes sense. And Holy Week will be interesting this year. Depending on, what, if you're allowed to go, if they shut down churches, whatever the case, it doesn't take long. Lent's still.
That didn't happen last time. It was during Lent.
Yeah.
We were supposed to reopen. We had 15 days to flatten the economy.
Flatten the spread or whatever they called it.
And now it's 15 days to flatten Iran. There's a lot of parallels to this.
Yeah. So just be cautious of that too, guys and gals.
Same guy in.
Yeah.
It's eerie.
Yeah. Instead of Fauci, we have Hexeth. So
Instead of the Rona, we have Zionism.
Yeah, it is what it is in that regard. So just be aware. Just be aware. When these things happen, they happen fast. When things go bad, they go bad quickly. So yeah, and that's what takes a lot of people off guard. So just be aware of those types of things coming.
Well, like the food things, and it's I saw someone bring it up because do you want to be the one that is trying to at the last minute trying to find something to help out, or do you want to be already starting to get prepared in a sense and have seeds ready, or plan on what's going to happen if the food supply is done because there's hurt or too expensive to buy something? You got to have something in your back, even it's what depending on what it is, flowers to eat or herbs to eat or whatever. You get something that lasts and knows can get through your climate and be able to. You can't just have potatoes. You got to have beans, or at least the beans to go with it, so you can get some protein out of it. And you don't have to just have chicken to have protein or meat. There's protein in food or in like a lamb's quarter. Lamb's quarter. This is spinach. Grows better than spinach and is 40,000 times better for you than spinach. It's got amaranth and all that in there. So yeah, just get prepared just in case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind as these things are on the horizon. We're just telling you to keep an eye out for this stuff. Be aware of the patterns and the trends that are happening there. So as we wrap up the show, we can talk. We'll do some additional things. There was an event earlier this week in the association, the National Basketball Association, where Ben something a bio. I don't even know his name.
You could put a gun on it. I could tell you who that guy is.
This dude managed to drop 83 points in a game, which. If you're an NBA nerd, there's Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game, and then there was Kobe Bryant's 81, and then there's Ben Adebayo or whoever this dude kind of just casually drops 83 points on 43 free throws, which he didn't even make them all. He didn't even make them all, and he still got to 83. And it just kind of shows you the spectacle of sports. Sport used to be, and Jason Whitlock's big on this. It was built by Christians. It was built by those who wanted a way to have healthy competition and to instill value and to instill lessons. Now it's just spectacle for sports gamblers and people to put on the background on a Tuesday night. There's nothing dignified about this performance from this guy. There's nothing admirable because he was chucking up threes. Their team was up 30 they were playing the Washington Generals. I mean, they're called the Washington Wizards, but it was essentially the Washington Generals because it was a team that was tanking and there wasn't anybody. Like Steve and I were pretty much playing this game. And this guy,
take it to yourself, man. I can actually score.
Yeah, whatever, dude. You don't have my handle, but the fact of the matter is, this dude is chucking up threes. He's getting fouled, and he's not. The coach isn't pulling him out when you're up 30. Be like, all right, you got 65 points. Great job. Come on in for the night. It was the spectacle for the idea of spectacle, and it just shows a lack of humility, if you really want to talk about it that way, that this guy wanted to have it. And it's another reason why I don't watch a majority of sports, because there's nothing positive I get out of it. I don't even get the value of like background noise at this point because I look up and I'm just disgusted. So
gone are the days of yore when Stan the Man, Catholic guy, by the way, said his wife was was the greatest thing in his life, and he played for the Cardinals for dozens of years. Or Joe DiMaggio, taking half his career to go fight in World War II. World War II. And then come back and play for the Yankees after. So he.
Like Teddy Ballgame too. Yeah, Ted Williams. Ted Williams.
Yeah,
lost the prime of his career to go fly in war. So
yep. Not to say war is good or anything like that, but these guys, it's a different mindset. It was a game still, and they were calling it a kid's game. And you get some guy every so often you'll still see saying we're getting paid to play a children's game or something like that. But normally, no, they're what doesn't stink sometimes. That when you see people for autographs, you see the guys that go up and sign everybody, and they will stay there all day long because maybe they were that kid before. But then you see the other guy that just, you know what, I don't care. I remember seeing Will Smith one time, not Will Smith, Will Clark in 1988 tell us and to go scram and beat it. That's I mean, so it's not not every year was always, glorified in a sense, but yeah, sports is different. It goes with the culture and the mindset of things. I mean, it's all about the money. And now you got colleges paying the players and
Well,
NIL
even
paying
think about they have NIL in some high schools, Steve.
high schools.
And then
Yeah.
if you think about the fact that, I've gone down this rabbit hole of AAU and like these sports, pay, these leagues that parents dump hundreds of thousands of dollars in over the lifetime of a kid with the hope of getting them some kind of ride. Danny Cannell, I think it is. He's on Fearless with, he's in it, and he's like, the amount of money we pay, because we want to get our kid a free ride. If I just save the money that I was paying, I could get my kid into almost any school in America. Now he's like, I'm lucky my girls, he's got 3 girls, and like they got rides because they play like volleyball and swimming and stuff like that. But parents are investing $6,000-$7,000 a year for like baseball or basketball. And then, there's this Cooperstown field up in New York. You pay $1,500 to register, and then you have to pay for your travel, pay for your hotel, pay for your food so your kid can play 6 games up there.
Yeah, and I know a Catholic family did that for all their boys, and I mean, they all went D1. One's in with the minor league organization right now. But yeah, I mean, I mean, it's tough right now just getting kids to play outside and get back and do what you're doing work wise and get dinner and things like that. I cannot imagine multiple practices or things like that, and then paying the money to go to AAU was starting to get big when I was playing.
Yeah,
I remember guys doing that, and it wasn't all of them.
I tried out for a couple of AAU teams back in the day.
Yeah, never did the travel. Well, our travel, we had more competition at the Y.
Yeah,
and we went to the Y up here to do some swim lessons up there. But the YMCA games back home, we had pros from Ireland come over to play. I mean, guys that played Clemson. I mean, it was. I mean, we had some good games. It was good competition.
Yeah. We also finish up.
Like the local Y here is like the best competition. Some guy that can just dribble up and down the court. Like,
yeah, it's been out of Bayou, just chucking up threes all night.
Yeah.
But you also think about this, and nobody's talked about this from what I can tell, but the traveling teams and all this stuff, it really does destroy communities, because communities used to be able to go to the high school basketball game, and we would see your neighbors' kids and your kids playing and all this other stuff. Or like here in Texas, we're known for Friday night lights, but even that kind of stuff, the high school football, it's still a big deal down here. But compared to the 7-on-7 leagues and the stuff they got to do in the summer to try and stay up to date, the loss of that community because everybody's got to go to a traveling team. If you're not going to a traveling team, you're not getting a D1 shot. Back in the day, you could get a D1 ride if you were really good in your local high school. You were you were the guy on your team killing it in baseball or basketball or whatever the case may be. The scouts would find you. Now scouts are so daggone lazy, they only go to the traveling teams. And so it's really kind of sad to see the crumbling, the hollowing out of our communities.
And they're big on playing on Sundays. Back when we were kids, I guarantee you didn't play on a Sunday. Now it's Sunday's the main day.
Yeah. And that was another thing. I keep bringing him up. I'm sorry, but he lit the internet on fire because he was on a travel team on a Sunday. And he's like, do we really have to do this? He's like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. I remember him seeing that because I retweeted it going, all right, parents, let's be the take your kid out.
Yeah.
And tell you after when you took your kid out because of X, Y, Z. I mean, Cannell has a name that he could probably do something like that instead of just making a video, because he's not going to do anything about it. That's not going to do anything. But take your kid out and get other people to do it to force a change. It used to be never play on Sunday. Everything was holy. It was the holy day. And it started going worse and worse and worse. Now it's again, sports is God. So they have to play. And yeah, AAU, I mean, It don't matter if you are the best on your team. You don't play AAU. You don't pay the money. You don't give the money and give the hat tip to the idol right there. You do not get the golden egg.
No, you may go D3. You may get like a D3 shot, but you're not going D1. Even if you're talented enough, because somebody else put the money in.
And you get the burnout, and then it's just this is your idol. This is your gig. You're supposed to be this. And it goes into in the Catholic wise, is that if we treated that the way we treat Catholicism, we treat that. Imagine what we do. I mean, I know some boys that do that and are very, very devout, but that's not the normal. That's not the rule.
The exception. It's the exception.
Yeah, they're the exceptions. Yes.
And also, I mean, you being a baseball guy, these kids who are being developed as pitchers. When you were a pitcher 15, 20 years ago, you had two pitches. You had like a fastball, maybe like a curveball, something like that.
Fast and slow.
Yeah, fast and slow. Now these kids are developing curves and sliders and stuff like that. And then they get to be 18, 19 because they pitched 10,000 pitches by the time they're 19. Yeah. And then they get to the pros and they blow out their ace, they blow out their shoulder in their rookie year and they're done.
Maybe by high school, some of them.
Yeah. I remember if they actually make it.
Yeah, I mean, Little League World Series wasn't a big thing, and when I was a kid, Dixie Youth was our thing down here. I don't think Little League was we didn't know what Little League was, but Dixie Youth was the big one in the South, obviously. But yeah, then we started. I remember seeing Little League on TV. Obviously, you had to wait for ESPN because when I was a kid, you had the big box my grandma had with off, on, and 4 channels that you played the Atari 2600 on, and you were like, wow, they got kids playing. I didn't know he's throwing a curveball at 12.
Yeah.
So yeah, they always told you don't do that to your 15, 16. But yeah, they'll do it anyways because you got to push them and you got to push them. You got to push them. And
you have to stand out. You have to stand out in a sea of 20,000 other kids. They have to be able to demonstrate that to show the money. And it's essentially now it's just another lottery.
I practiced 6 to 8 hours a day easily. Didn't think twice of it. That was the only thing on my mind. So in fact, that wasn't AAU. That was just me praying to get do more on a team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's sports used to go from building character to now being a lottery ticket, and it's when you treat it like a lottery ticket, you get guys who treat it with no respect, like this dude in the NBA who's just doing it just because he could. Yeah. There was no restraint.
And you'll see every so often. You'll see somebody like they had Kobe, who, by the way, Brian knows he's a Catholic dude. And speaking of which, the church in Denver that he would go to when they were in Holy Ghost, he would go there. That got vandalized the other day in downtown Denver. I'm like, how did anybody miss that one? It's right there in the middle of downtown. But yeah, he had 63 at the end of a third quarter game one time. And they asked him, you want to go back in? He goes, nah, we're good. We're up 30. I'll save it for when we need it. And like 2 weeks later, he drops 81. Yeah.
And they needed that because they were that team was not very good. And they needed every single one of his points to even stay in that game. So it is what it is in that regard. Now, of course, we're not trying to like canonize Kobe here. It's just an example of guys who have pride in their work. And
he had a bad falling out with that one thing that happened. And he repented, looked like. He used the priest to get back in. He apologized to his wife. Looks like everything. Not going to say that the guy is going to hell in a handbasket, but it looked like he got his life together. Yeah. I don't know.
Ironically enough, we're talking about this. He was traveling on a Sunday to an AAU game.
To an AAU game. Yes, exactly.
But of course, the story is he went to church first. Him and his daughter went to church.
If you're playing at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I get it. Maybe you won a game. If there's one game, like that, there was what Canal went to was a volleyball tournament. And I've been to one of those selling product there, ankle brace, pro taco, and things like that with the mask. And I was in Orlando. My boss dragged me over there for it, and I'm just stuck on it. And those things start at 7.
Yeah.
They go all day. So that's a little different than maybe the championship game on a Sunday at 3 when everyone go to mass. Is like that means entertainment then. It's like, all right, not all day when you getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the auditorium, wherever.
You're paying for concessions. You're getting nachos for breakfast.
Yeah,
So,
it goes into the culture to society thing. I mean, movies are going off the rails too. Like I said, Pinocchio last week, we talked about it. It's literally stealing Oregon harvesting. And not that Pinocchio is a good story, but now it's horrific. And the movies are darker and grayer and horrific and more edgy. And you get the non-family stuff, or if you do have a family, it's, the mom's fed up with the family, tells them go, wet up pound sand, and they're kissing someone else on TV or whatever. It's the morals are all gone. It's you got to win the culture one person at a time.
So I'd like to ask you, Gary, what topic? What topic? Because we've been talking for an hour, and if you just got here, we already covered it. Not trying to be a jerk.
What topic we might be able to ad-lib one?
We can add. You know what? We're at your disposal, bud. What do you want us to talk about? We're a couple dancing clowns here. What do you want? What do you want us to talk about, man? We'll spit a topic out for you. We live to serve. But yeah, we've covered it. Gary, we covered a lot. We talked about COVID 2.0. We talked about Iran. We talked about 15-minute cities. We talked about farming and food supply and the gasoline that's going to be stuck on that. Like, we've covered a lot tonight. And, we also,
by the way, Team USA lost in the World Baseball Championship to Italy. See that one?
Did you see the funny one where like Israel got eliminated by like Mexico or something like that? And it's like, oh, well, Mexico's about to get wiped off the map.
Yeah, I had no idea Israel even had a baseball team.
No, I didn't either. Sandy Koufax, is he pitching? Like, what's going on here? So, but
no one understands Koufax was Jewish, and he would not play on Yom Kippur. He would stay away from games.
Yeah.
Say what you say about the Jewish religion, but he was at least consistent. Unlike a lot of Catholics, he would not pitch, even in big games, if it was on a holy day for him.
Yeah. So good. Yeah. So I just thought that was kind of funny. Oh man, do I even have? I don't know if I even. Yeah, I do. I have a Saint of the Week in a cry room.
What you got?
So for Saint of the Week, I'm gonna shout out Enoch, who is promoting his a fundraiser for his latest and last album, which is amazing. He's put out 7. This will be his 7th album, I believe. So I don't have it ready, Enoch. I'm sorry, but if you go to Enoch's Twitter handle, he is promoting a fundraiser, trying to raise up funds so he can produce it correctly and get the right stuff. So check out Enoch and his music, support him. I think he's done a heck of a job as far as trying to, make an impact in the culture. We talk about it here on this show all the time. He actually, shut up and did it. So good on him for his last one. My cry room is going to be a little inside baseball, but it's in the gun community. There's this woman named Carrie Sloan. She's got to handle shotguns and stilettos and things like that. And she has a habit of playing the victim. She'll antagonize men and then claim the victim. She did it to me. I posted about it. She made a joke. I made fun of her because it was a bad joke, and then she essentially called me a woman beater. She makes all kinds of accusations. Now, the reason she's in the crime room is because she went after a guy named Ben Stoger, who is huge, and he is a legend in the gun community, and he has just dragged her back and forth. So she's in my cry room because she gives female shooters a bad name. There's a lot of great women shooters out there. There's a lot of great female instructors. Carrie Sloan is not one of them, and she gives all female shooters a bad name. So that's why she's in the cry room.
Speaking of, I'll put 2 in the. I'll use 1 cry room. I was going to put Charlie
multiple cry rooms,
just because it sounds fun. Just because you made me think about that topic right there. Why not? Where did I put him at? Hold on, I have to go back. All right, there he is. Okay, all right, my kind of cry room, because I don't know how accurate this is. I'll go with the Mrs. Kirk drinking the blood thing. We have no idea how accurate this is. This is just weird.
At this point, whatever they say about Erica Kirk, I believe.
She could have. I mean, as Erica Kirk consumed her husband Charlie's blood, this satanic. She's weird, anyways, and the stuff that's behind her is jacked up. I don't know what the deal is. If it's true, definitely a cry room thing. If it's not, I don't even know why they would bring it up if it wasn't true. I don't know. But I would go with everyone's favorite cryberry out there. They're definitely a cry room. Personally,
I should have. Thank you for doing that, Steve.
Mike Lewis. He's the king of the cry room because I think all he does is cry. Cleric he's upset about the Ripperger video from Sean Ryan, where Ryan apparently gave him at least handed him this. I don't know what kind of. I don't even know what model gun it is, but
it's SIG. It's a SIG 2011. So it's
okay. So he's on the 4 hours on the show, and Sean hands him the gun, and so
one of the first things he did. It was one of the first things they did.
Oh, it was. I haven't watched the whole thing.
Yeah, and he gave him the rosary, and then he gave him the firearm, and it's I don't like SIGs, but it's a nice gun.
So people were losing it over this just because he touched a gun, I guess.
We also
people were losing it anyways.
You know, he also said so.
One of the top guys that cry about everything, I don't know, father lives rent free in his mind. This clerics shall not carry arms. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Rick, but is holding something that's gifted to you literally open carry 24/7? I don't see that as the same thing as you're literally holding it in your hand. You're not.
I mean, the one thing is if you watch the interview, Father Ripperger does say he carries. So that's one of those things there. But yes, holding a pistol does not constitute actually, holding a gun. He shows the inside. There's no mag in it. I'm sure if he press checked it, there was no bullet in it. So it's just this, and I hate to crowd your cry room, but it's just this nanny state idea to firearms. It is this effeminate fear of them.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, let's see, pretty much, especially in the West, they carried, there's Cristeros. Not all of them. Not all the priests did. Vendée.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying it's wartime or anything like that, but if someone's carrying, who cares? I mean, this is a time and age where most priests have to wear a is it GoDaddy, the GoCam?
Oh, GoPros, just in case someone accuses them of something. At least they have recorded thing. Hey, I didn't do that. But yeah,
I mean, I remember telling a couple, you should just wear a GoPro just to make sure that you have evidence on your back.
Just attach it right there.
Who cares? What's that bother you?
And Mike's big thing is that he's being so nitpicky because he said the ancient priests didn't, but the modern ones do. So how can Ripperger I don't think Father Ripperger has ever called himself a trad or anything like that. He's never announced himself to be a trad. He just does things that align more to quote unquote trad ideas. And so the fact that people are losing their mind, him and these other people, they're jealous of their success. Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's an unhealthy. There's something wrong with their mental state for them to be focused or hate. Because on the thing I'm looking at, going, he's on a gigantic platform, evangelizing in a sense, billions of people who haven't heard this before. I mean, my channel does great. Other people's channel does great.
That episode has 2.5 million views so far.
This is a different platform, different area, different group of people are actually watching it. So you're opening up a different audience to this. Maybe they'll start looking up. Maybe they find the channel. Maybe they find other things. I had one person right off the bat said they found the channel because of the show, literally about 30 minutes after the thing came off. Mm-hmm. We should be helped promoting, working together with each other. Like, go back to the secular guys. Secular guys help each other out. They promote each other. They ask for donations for other people, not them, but they ask to help out either. What do our guys do? We try to do a circle and we try to shoot the other guy. I can't believe he's doing it.
We are crabs in a bucket. We are crabs in a bucket, man.
Yeah.
As somebody starts to get up there, we just start yanking them down.
Yeah. Now, if somebody's doing something, terrible or lives a double personality, I get it. Fine, call it out. But I mean, come on. It's kind of like that. Come on, man. It was an NFL network that did that.
That was Joe Biden too. That was
Joe did it. Yeah, Joe did it. Brandon did it again. So he's the he probably win the Cry Room of the Year award if we had one. But and on the saying of the week, I'll go with this story. It's another good news one. What happened is an internet user raised $280,000 for an elderly man who became a DoorDash delivery driver to help pay for his and his wife's bills. Tennessee woman decided to take matters in her own hands when she saw the man delivering Starbucks to her. And I guess he said, I work because I have to. I really don't want to. I was actually retired, but my wife lost her job. No fault of her own, which also means she lost her health insurance. The man told the customer to track him down. So the time we pay our living expenses plus our medical expenses for our medicines, we have nothing left at the end of the month. There's probably that. I've seen elderly guys working at pizza joints, grocery stores.
The Walmart greeters.
Oh, man. Well, Walmart's kind of people that just want to do that. But the guy bringing working at a pizza joints like Papa John's or Domino's or whatever, and they're delivering pizzas or things like this, and that you start going, they're not wanting to do that. They have to do that for some reason.
Yeah.
That hurts to see, but more people are probably doing that. Many more people are doing that, and it's going to get worse probably.
No, yeah, it will be. It will be difficult when it's one of those things. Yeah. It is brick. You're seeing older people have to do that kind of stuff because we lose the intergenerational families where, kids should be bringing in their parents and providing and taking care of them. But that's a lost. I mean, this couple may not have kids, or maybe their kids are gone, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
there's always outside circumstances, but there is that.
But look at in Lent, we're giving away alms and all that. So this is a good little, help somebody out when alms and types like there. If somebody's really hurting in the streets like that, trying to help a brother, help an older guy out, or if you do travel. I used to, when doing Uber, sometimes I'd grab like a bunch of $10 dollar burgers from Burger King when they came out when they opened. Cause the downside is I'd get up at 4, and by the time Burger King and them had stuff like that ready, it was time for me to shut down for a couple of hours because I was going to die in the car driving. But yeah, you can grab like a $10 for 10, and see somebody, hey, heads up, throw them a burger. Make sure you put some air underneath it so that it comes down nice. Slam the burger in their head.
Yeah, you want to give them time to actually get underneath it.
Yeah, give them a fair catch a little bit. Give them a little height. And make sure it's a good kick.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. You want to make sure it actually connects.
You got anything to promote?
No, I don't. Armed Catholic Case for Guns and Self-Defense. That's really all if you want to buy it, it's on Amazon, it's on other local stores.
You want to buy it, no big whoop is right there. Right?
Yeah,
Census Fidelium, press is the press company. There's a coloring book right here if you like. I'm working on another one. There's the 2 latest ones, Idolatry, Living Humility. Here's the app, censusfidelium.tv. They're just giving you a little idea this is what the app would look like if you get there. Yes, there's a banned by YouTube section right there. Here's the 3rd week of Lent, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You see how many videos on each day. There you go. They're all ready for people. There's the Latin Rite, and here's the Eastern Rite for Sundays, 14 and 32. People tell me that there's not enough content on here. I don't know what else to do.
Well, you're the exception. You're the exception, not the rule.
I literally had a comment the other day. You don't have enough content. There's 800 videos on this thing. How's there not enough content?
Yeah, I don't know what to do for you. All right, folks, thanks for hanging out with us on the Weekly Reckoning. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, and share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word and, let more people in to what we are doing. We are happy and very thankful that you joined us. We will talk to you all next week. God bless, and Viva Cristo Rey. Thank you.